Welcome to the Pillar of Salt podcast, where there is no plan and we have no topic. I think that's supposed to be the other way around, but
I'm pretty
you know
sure
how it is.
I'm pretty sure that the topic is just a perpetual Magic the Gathering talk.
With me today is Ben.
Oh yeah, hi.
Hi, Ben.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm Hank. We have names.
Yeah, we do.
Sure.
Oh man, it's really warm out right now. I'm not about it. I thought we were done with this shit. I was told that Russia gets 2 weeks of summer. That was bullshit.
It's called global warming.
Ugh. Everyone here is like,
Read
yeah,
about
it's getting warmer. I'm like, this is garbage. For many reasons. Global warming being one of them, but also on a personal level, I don't like it.
Yeah, getting those butt sweats, no good.
Ugh. Man, it was pretty nice though. It was pretty nice. Yesterday we went to a park and took the opportunity. We're still like isolating from Anya's parents now that her sister is going back to work at the hospital. So she's been staying with us. But we all wanted to go to the park, so it was like the perfect opportunity for Anya to practice driving. And the nice thing about, and I don't know the reasoning for this. I don't know if it's a we can't physically do this or if it's a I choose not to do this, but there's no air conditioning in the family car. And it's real bad. Last time we went back from the park, we got in like a 2-hour traffic jam. It was rough. Sun just beating in. Ugh, absolutely terrible. But this time, now that we're using like their little car sharing service thing that they have here, just AC on blast. Cranking my side all the way down, turning those fans all the way open. Oh, so we step out at the park and Anya's brother gets out of their car and he's just drenched in sweat.
We just open the door and water starts pouring out.
To be fair, Anya was also drenched in sweat, but that's because she was nervous because driving.
That was just stress sweat.
Yeah, it was. She did great though. She did great. She's doing very well. Because part of the problem with driving here, which explains a lot of aside from city driving, there's no way to practice driving before you get your license. There's no unless you're paying an instructor, there's no probationary license your parents can ride with you and help. It's literally you cannot drive the car until you have your license. So people half-ass it and then they practice after getting their license in a parking lot or whatever. But legally they could just get on the road and fuck people up.
Hell yeah. That sounds like a nightmare.
New York cabbie style. It works mostly.
Yeah, it's just, are people idiots? Yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't drive. Period. So.
Yeah.
I passed driver's ed though.
Oh, okay. Did you ever
But then I never bothered to get a license.
Sure. Did you ever even have your temps or anything, or just took the course and called it?
I had it was part of high school. We had the course, but then I just never bothered. I never actually practiced driving, so then I never took the driving part of the test.
Yeah.
Just passed the written part.
I think that's actually a decent plan, making, because our course wasn't required. It was a summer school thing. It was completely voluntary. But I feel especially in a rural area, having a course like that being mandatory would probably be a good thing. In the event of emergency, if you need to drive, that would, it's useful. Which still boggles my mind. That former Burning Barrel, not affiliate, member, fan is a good word. Burning Barrel Pixel Response fan, Marshmallow, did not have his license.
Ugh.
And lived in a rural area.
Mhm.
I can't imagine. You literally can't do
That
shit.
sounds like a nightmare.
Like, I'd walk to the. I've probably mentioned it before. I walked to our grocery store in town once, and it took like 2 hours to get there. I wanted
Yeah.
a frozen pizza.
Nice.
It was cool though. I just finished doing a reread.
If I
of,
live somewhere where it wasn't a pain in the ass to own a car anyway, and I can
Yeah.
get everywhere by public transit.
oh yeah.
Like, there are cases where having a car would be useful, but not worth. I mean, I couldn't afford it anyway. So.
Mhm. See, do you know? Is there like a? I mean, I guess it's probably a general America question, but I don't know if there's like city specific things. Like, are there any car sharing things? Like, so there's a program here called Yandex Drive. For anyone who doesn't know, Yandex is Russian Google. Like, they do fucking everything. Like, they have their search system, their AI shit. They have like a software, I think, like an OS or whatever. Like a taxi service, Uber service, like just absolutely everything. It's one-to-one Google, except maybe a little worse. So they have a car sharing thing where you get on your phone and you look, and there's like, it shows you where a car is located, and you can just like select the one you want, and it gives like a rough estimate of time that it will take you to get to this car, and you don't have to pay until you get there. But if you wait like an hour, it's going to start charging you. And then you get there, you like take pictures of the car of any damage, so you know, just to show it was there when you got there, and then you just drive wherever. And within like 100% of the city, and certain, I don't know what their metric is, I assume just like popular areas, you can just leave the car. Like, you can drive it from point A to B and then just drop it, or you can rent it for however long and like keep it with you, like if you're going out of the city for a weekend or something. And it's surprisingly nice. Like, we got inside the car, it didn't smell like piss and cigarettes, which was shocking. It was clean, it was great. And like Anya said, people have done the math, and unless you're using it like every single day, all day, for like ever, it's always going to be cheaper than buying a car. So it's pretty sweet. And I was wondering if there was something like that in like cities in America that I just never would have known about.
As someone who doesn't drive, I'd have no idea.
Okay. I was just want, like, if you had seen them like sitting on the road. I don't know.
No. I mean, the only thing I've ever heard about similar to that is bike sharing stuff.
Okay.
And even that usually goes badly in America.
Yeah. Dude, we had that on my university campus, and even that got like sketchy. Partially because no one was like maintaining them. Like, for some reason they just said, well, they could just sit out for the winter, and like, I'm sure the people who use them will air up the tires again.
It's just like a rusted hunk of metal.
Just a piece of
rubber.
shit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's no good.
Like, it's a good idea, but
No
you
good.
need to have, like, one of the things I think Anya said, like, if assuming the car isn't in use, like, they send out people to clean them. I think she said, like, during the night or something, or maybe it's like a voluntary thing, something like, if you clean the car thoroughly, you get like a discount or a refund or something. I don't know. But they were surprisingly clean.
That's good.
Yeah.
The other the other option there sounds like a nightmare. Some random filthy car.
Oh, dude. Yeah. You know what? She did say you can elect to, like, one of the things. I forget how it works. Again, they've taken all this shit into account, but like, you can report the car, like when you, along with like telling what damage was on it when you got there, you can say like, oh, it smells like somebody threw up in here, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think they have ways of checking against it or something. I don't know, but you can like choose, and I assume it's for smokers, but you can choose to like use a car that's like, oh, I smell bad for some reason, so I'll use it. I'm a Magic the
Smell
Gathering
bad?
player, so I need to use this car.
Stanky cars only, please.
Yeah, it's something. She said there's like something like that. Like if
I
you're,
don't want to just
I
to ruin clean cars.
I assume, yeah.
My BO is uncontrollable.
Dude, that was my
It's
first
just
thought.
out of the world.
Like Anya was implying that clearly it was for smokers, but that was literally my first thought. Like, oh, the perfect overlap of someone who doesn't care about hygiene but cares about people. I don't shower, but no one else should suffer for it. Give me the stank car, the stank car, please.
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's.
Yeah, I just feel like if something was wrong with the car and you are like getting the car to like get somewhere on time, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Would be the. I feel like that's where it would be a pain in the ass, like regardless of like it being cheaper, like the potential life hassle of if it goes wrong.
Yeah, we were actually also wondering, we didn't look too closely. I don't know if there's like a camera in the car or like sensors of some sort. I assume maybe. They have it, it's actually it's like connected. The doors don't lock until you've like unlock until you've confirmed everything. And then once you tap that button, like the doors unlock. But there is also like some sort of offline thing. If you know or suspect you'll be losing internet, there's like also a code or something you can do. I don't know. There's some shit to take it into account, but I wonder if like maybe they have a thing in it like, oh hey, we see like car 17 doesn't exist anymore. Maybe we should go check that out. Not on our scanner.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, no, that could
But
be.
is it like cheaper than getting an Uber?
I
or
think in
whatever?
some cases it depends. It's kind of like also has it has a very similar price point, where it's like it's kind of it's like if the car is in a high population area, the price will be more because demand. I think
Because now I'm just thinking about it as like,
depends.
it's an Uber, you get to drive yourself.
They
You don't have to pay.
so
No one has to get paid to drive you.
I mean, it's kind of the like I to a certain extent you're like paying to like trust, like if you trust yourself more than an Uber driver, I guess. I think like if we would have used this service, and I forget why we didn't. Actually, I can't think of. Oh, because Anya wasn't confident. That's why. Because Anya still doesn't like drive. But if we had used this service to go to the cabin instead of a taxi, it would have been so much cheaper. Like way, way, way cheaper. Because it was like an hour and a half taxi. But yeah, if you're in the city, it's like
Yeah, I feel
it's so close.
It makes sense as like an Uber that is scalable into like a rent a car for longer trips.
Yeah. The other nice and funny thing Anya mentioned was the most if you like get in an accident, even if you're at fault, the max amount that they will charge you for their insurance or whatever is like $500. It's like 30,000 rubles. So I'm like, shit, you can just really take this thing to town then, huh? You got like a rally? Can we go to like a demolition rally or something? Or a derby? I'll take her out. Also, it's funny that you mentioned the like it's an Uber but you drive. They also have a service where it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's Uber but without the car. Like they just send a driver. Like if you're shit-faced at a bar and you want your car to get home, they'll send someone to just drive your car home with you in it.
That's pretty good. There's something that feels lavish about that, but
You say lavish,
why.
but really it's just a hammered Russian throwing up in their own vehicle while some poor bastard drives them back.
Exactly. Lavish.
Bougie.
They can afford to get smashed and pay someone. Just rolling in it.
I want to know how that works. Like, how the hell does the person get back? Do they just trust that someone else will need their services to drive
man.
them home?
That sounds like a bad job.
I don't
Drive
know.
someone out to the sticks, and then you're just like, well, guess I'm hoofing it. Then they get a car share.
Yeah, it's all just a big fucking chain. And it's all fucking Yandex. So Yandex sends the driver, who then needs to buy a Yandex, who then needs to get a Yandex taxi to get back into town. But it's late at night and he doesn't want to like do whatever. So then he gets his Yandex drive car and drives himself to his apartment.
Can't wait till they get drones that drive your car for you.
Oh, I'm ready.
So the drivers are sitting in like an office building somewhere.
Just
They
like
just like
steering it.
fly this little drone in that steers your car.
I
Turns the
mean,
wheel.
alternatively, just a big drone that picks you up.
Just fucking skyhooks you.
Yeah, very, very, like no ceremony or anything. Just picks you
Yeah,
up.
it's very
and
Metal
literally
Gear Solid 5.
just like when it
straps
gets
balloons to you.
when it gets to like your apartment or whatever, it just lets go. It just cuts the cord. Someone in their
Tuck your knees.
yeah,
You just gotta
yeah,
learn to tuck your knees.
someone in their programming department or whatever the hell, research and development. They did the math and they figured out if you drop a grown person from under this height, it's fine. Anything under 10 feet, they just bounce. It's okay.
It's like there's like a thing with cats where it's like this low, from here to here they're fine. From here to here they're not fine, and then higher than that they're also fine.
Yeah, dude.
Up to a point. It's
Or
like,
like-
just how ready they can get themselves.
Yeah. Or like little, like small creatures. Like the smaller something is, like there's no, what is it, like ants and other bugs that have like no terminal velocity. Like literally you can drop them off anywhere and it doesn't hurt them. Or it doesn't kill them, at least. Fucking cats, dude. When I was little, we've always, I mean, after a certain point, we've always had between like 3 and 7 cats outside. Started out to help with mice, but then, every family member needed a cat, naturally. When I was little, my cat for some reason, for a while there, they liked to play chicken with the automatic garage door, and it was a big fucking door. And we were going to school.
This story better not end with your cat getting its head cut off by a garage door.
No. I wouldn't be telling it if it was like, hey, so you want to hear about how my cat like died horribly? No.
I don't know.
We were
Anything's possible on
like,
the Pillar of Salt.
No, that's advice my English teacher gave after we had to give personal story speeches, and some kid talked about how his chihuahua got ran over by a car and started crying, and the counselor had to come take him out of class, and the teacher got up after he left and shut the door, and she was like, probably should have mentioned this before we started, but if your story is going to make you cry, maybe don't tell it. Please tell a story you could finish. Yeah. It was so awkward. Oh god, that was an awkward moment. It was like recent too. It had happened like a few days before he gave it. Anyway, so we're going to school and we back out, and this was before we had sensors on the garage door to detect people or creatures moving under them. And the door is shutting. The cat's like thinking about it, and my mom starts honking the horn, and just nothing. And he's like, okay, well, I'll go in. I'll go for it. And of course he decides this like when it's inches above the ground. That door came down right on the center of the cat, like right on the center. We just saw like his hind legs like kicking. Immediate tears, naturally. Like all of us kids just started crying. And mom was like probably at that point, but also is the adult, so she has to be like, shit, and get out of the car and go like open the door. She opens the door, he just springs up. Just like bounces up, and he's like, okay, like that was weird, but I'm in now. I got where I wanted to be. And like mom took him, like got him in a carrier or whatever, and like threw him in the car and like dropped us off at school and went to the vet. The vet was like, yeah, sometimes there's a certain point where cats can just like turn into paper. So yeah, he's fine. No broken bones, no internal damage, nothing. Like all of his organs just shifted a little bit for a second. Fucking absurd.
Man. Yeah, some animals can do that.
It's wild.
It's wild.
He didn't try to go in the garage again, thankfully.
That's good. It's good that he had the capacity for learning.
Not all of our cats did. Yeah. Or some of our dogs. Normally, in the sense that they would fuck with the same cat over and over, and they get scratched on the nose, and then they do it again the next day. It's not gonna work for you. Oreo isn't. He's not gonna put up with your shit.
There are humans like that too.
Yeah.
Some animals. I'm thinking of that Simpsons episode where Bark on an elephant, and the moral at the end is some animals are just jerks. They're just mean.
Yeah. Like badgers or koalas.
It was individuals, not entire species, Ben.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because the elephant starts headbutting the other elephants. They finally get it back. And then they chose Homer headbutting the elephant guy, explaining that some animals are just jerks.
Yeah.
And Homer's just headbutting him for no reason.
Man. So sometimes, I guess when she was younger, Anya's family had a pet bird. And it was like the greatest bird in the entire world. Like just super nice. Like just totally fine. And she wants another bird. Sometimes she talks about like, oh, maybe we should get a pet bird. I don't want to play that game. I don't want to take that. You had the best pet bird in the world. I feel like those odds are slim of happening. I'm just imagining like a bird shitting on my computer and like chirping insistently and like, I don't know, doing all this shit. I don't want to play that game. You had a great bird. Let's not roll those dice.
It's like, you get a good wine. You don't just, buy another wine that's a different wine.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you.
You're probably, like, just luck of the draw, you're probably going to get a worse wine. It's just, the way of the world.
Dude, my parents would give me so much shit. The local tavern in my hometown, I would always get like, over the course of like 10 years, I developed a rotation of like 3 things that I would get, getting one of them every single time for like 2 years straight or whatever.
Hell yeah.
And then like, you know what? Maybe I'll try this thing. It's been like 3 years. I'll try one different thing. I'm like, okay, this is fine. Now I have 2 things to choose from. And they always gave me so much shit. And I'm like, why would you like? Why? I like it though.
Hell yeah.
It's a good burger. And like it's not like I get this burger at other places. It's just this place. So when I come here, I want this burger.
As a person who eats like 5 things, I'm all in on this. But I found the things I like. If I get sick of one of them, then I'll shift to one of the other 3. It's fine.
Dude, yeah. I mean, that's been on you lately with, I mean, jokingly, mostly. But, like, I just want my replacement for cereal is yogurt and granola. Why would I want it? She's like, well, maybe you should change it up. I'm like, or I don't. If the only thing I want to change is that I'm cemented into this lifestyle, so if we could order like triple the amount of granola and yogurt every time, that'd be great. Because 2 bags of granola is lasting me like 2 days. Because I have it like 3 times a day. No, when we were little, kind of my whole family was that way. I mean, about certain things, and like certainly me and maybe my brother, like we weren't adverse to trying, like, oh, mom wanted to try a new recipe or something, like, yeah, I'll try it. And I would, not very picky. But when it came to things like snacks or like juice or something, like we just wanted the same thing. There was like several instances over the years where mom's like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store, does anybody want anything? I'm like, oh, we're getting low on this brand of this specific cranberry juice. Like, okay,
hell yeah,
got it. She comes back with like not that brand, and it's like cranberry pomegranate Snapple juice, and I like just look at
That's
it.
my
I'm
nightmare.
Like, just disappointed, and she's like, "What? I thought I would mix it up." I'm like, I've been asking it. I've been drinking the same juice for 5 years on my own request. Why would you think I'd want to mix it up now? If I want to mix it up, I'll let you know. The only other, like, of course we laugh about it now, and she's like, one time, I was really into bologna sandwiches for a while, but like, nothing, literally just like bologna and bread and maybe like mustard or something. And she's like, what do you need? And I'm like, I need more bologna. We're low on bologna. She's like, got it. And she comes back with, it was like turkey bologna or something, or it was like bologna but turkey flavored. And I'm like, it wasn't the flavor I wanted, but like, it's fine, but why? And again, want to mix it up. And one of my shining moments is, I'm like, if I wanted turkey flavored thing, I would ask turkey though. Like, it's not necessarily that it's different, it's that it's meat that is flavored like other meat. Like, just that idea is like kind of offensive to me. Like, they're two different things. It's like when everybody was trying to make bacon flavored stuff for a while, and like, that's fine, but if I wanted bacon flavored, I would eat bacon. Like, it's right. It's pretty simple. Yeah.
Man.
You know what? I got
also for me, that kind of thing is always like, I don't know whether to. I want to be polite and say, "Oh, that's okay," but the reality is that I just won't consume it. Then I just do something else.
Yeah,
garbage truck goes by.
See, for me, it was fine. Like, disappointed, but I'll eat it. Which I have one. I've been like talking a lot, but I got one more story that's like topical and funny. So, again, we had like our little snack drawer, and like, varied. Sometimes it was like nuts. Sometimes, like, especially when we were younger, we would ask for like super sweet shit, like zebra cakes or like Little Debbie shit. And then eventually it was like granola bars, or I don't know, trail mix, maybe cookies or whatever, just your general snack stuff. And this was, sometimes there was enough room. There was enough room in our hearts and in the drawer for a little experimentation. If you want to get something new, that's fine, but please pair it with something that we've been eating for a decade. Then we'll go from there. And one of these things that I think they were on sale, or she got them from someone else. Like, Mom came home with they were like these sweet and salty peanut bars, and they were like nuts, but there was like a glaze on them. They were just below average. Like, if you got desperate enough, they were fine, but no one's going for these things first. And there were like 2 small boxes of them. So there was probably like, I don't know, between 10 and 16, whatever the count was. And they sat in there. I think we all tried, like, maybe not all of us. Someone tried one, and just nobody liked them much. And so they sat in this drawer for ages. And one day, no, I was frustrated because I wanted more snacks, and Mom said there's 2 boxes of whatever in the drawer. Like, you don't need any more snacks. Like, well, got me on a technicality.
I eat snacks that are edible.
Yeah. So I decided to be the hero that the house needed, but did not deserve.
Throw them away.
No. I can't bring myself to like throw away decent food like that. But I ate them. All of them. I fucking sat down and I destroyed 2 boxes of immensely mediocre snacks.
I don't see how this is the better option, honestly.
Well, because then at least like someone ate the food. So I eat them all. And then later that night or whatever, or the next day, like, Mom, we need more snacks. She like checks the drawer, they're gone. She comes back with another 2 boxes of those same bars.
I mean, you destroyed them.
Well, and I'm like, I'm like, why? Why would you do this? They sat in there for like 8 months or whatever, and no one ate them.
Exactly. She didn't have to buy snacks for like 8 months.
You guys, you ate them so fast. I thought you liked them. I'm like, I wasn't eating them because I liked them. I ate them to make them go away, and it just I don't know. I think she took them to work or something. I was at least semi-rewarded by not having to eat more of them. I was so the amount
bad plan, man.
The dejection in my heart when I opened the drawer and there's just 2 new boxes in there. I'm like, oh. My dad thought it was hilarious. He laughed his ass off.
All I'm saying is she bought those snacks and she didn't have to buy snacks for like 8 months. So that sounds like a win to me.
It's still it still gets that line still gets said in our house if something is like a little maybe under par or a little too mediocre. Like, I wasn't eating it because I liked it. I was eating it to make it go away.
At a certain point in my life, I realized I don't have to just eat the thing that's in front of me.
Yeah. No, I usually try to take a bite of something, but I've passed the point of trying to like finish half of whatever to be polite. Like, I'll take an earnest bite with an open mind. And if it tastes like shit, I will be polite, but I will not eat it. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I obviously I've known for a while, like, that you have your rotation. Like, are you still? Is it like how set is it? Like, will you still once every 5 years, like, try out something? Or just, like, not at all? I mean, no judgment, of course, because I respect that, obviously.
Yeah, not at all.
Okay. Right on.
Like, I tried a new food in a very long time, really. And I get, like, anxiety about it at this point. Like, it became such a thing that, like, the idea of trying a new food, fine. That's whatever. When I have a piece of food I haven't eaten before in front of me, like, I can't move. It's like it's totally in my head at this point
Yeah.
because I did it so infrequently
I,
and had bad experiences like most of the time.
so I know at least two of them are pasta and French fries.
Yeah,
Um,
those are the staples.
what are your what's your range? Like, I guess like take pasta, right? That's a super wide
Yeah.
category. Like, what constitutes as like too different to not bother?
Like, does it have a meat attached to it? Then it's a no go.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I can't think of another distinction, really.
Well, like meats or like
Other than,
I don't know,
like-
seafood or even just spices or something. I don't know. Stuff.
I
I
don't
guess-
want any of that.
I
I
guess
don't
we'll-
want any it
I guess-
contaminated with any of that garbage.
I mean, so what's your pasta then? Like noodle, like butter, cheese, just butter, no butter.
No, not butter.
That hurts my
Uh,
heart a little bit, but I'm a fatty.
Romano
inside.
cheese,
Okay.
pecorino romano, or Parmesan cheese, both acceptable.
Okay.
And usually it's just that for normal pasta. I also will do Kraft macaroni and cheese, but
Like a.
that like specifically that brand of macaroni and cheese and the
Oh,
box with the
dude,
dumb
if I-
powder.
if
I can't
I-
do. I don't really ever want to do actual like real macaroni and cheese.
Sure. I mean, if I. Yeah. If I was getting like boxed mac and cheese, yeah, it would be Kraft, because I don't trust another brand. I think Kraft mac and cheese is like maybe objectively bad, but like I've eaten it so much that it's amazing. Like fuck, I'll do
one-
it. I'll eat an entire
Yeah.
box in one sitting. It's amazing.
Yeah. The ones that are like shapes, those have just gone bad on me. Like every time I've quit Kraft mac and cheese for a time was because I had like a bad box of some shaped kind. So I only get like the normal
That
regular
sucks.
ones.
I enjoy the shapes. I think,
I just had them go bad on me too many times where it was just bad experiences.
I guess thinking back on it, I suppose I've had, maybe it's like the ratio or something. Like there's a different pasta to powder ratio, and they didn't like account for it. I don't know. I feel like the shapes usually
Yeah.
don't taste as good if I'm thinking about it. It might just be
They don't.
coincidence as well.
Yeah. And like it is one of those things. Like my mom accidentally got like the home style of it once, and I'm like being polite. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. If that's all there is, I'll probably do it. I just didn't ever eat it. Like I just like looked at it like I could eat something else. That's just where I am.
Okay.
Like the reality is, I just wouldn't. I will eat that specific thing, or I'll not eat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's like, I mean,
Like the worst was in like middle school going on overnight trip,
ooh. Yeah.
and like my mom just like gave me like a bag of muffins that I kept in their fridge so I would have something to eat because I just wasn't gonna eat. Like I literally, if like I hadn't brought food, I just would have starved. I just was not gonna eat what they served.
Yeah.
Unless they served like one day they'd serve pancakes for breakfast, and I was like, I can eat that,
Mm-hmm. So what are
but
your
I would just
like,
not eat.
like like is it truly small enough of a list, like pasta, French fries? What are the other things? I'm curious. It's interesting to me. If I
Toast.
if I ever need to cook for you.
Yeah. I mean, pasta's the easy one, for sure. in terms of like what you would cook, like the only things I cook, I only cook pasta for myself. Really, I eat rice too, like toast. Um, but I'll eat pancakes. I'll eat waffles, French toast. I'll eat a hard-boiled eggs. Um, but that's the only way I really like just plain eggs is hard-boiled. I've tried scrambled eggs and it didn't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean those are two. That's
I
understandable.
love it.
Those are two drastically different flavors
Yeah.
and texture. If that's
Mhm.
also a thing.
Bananas, apples, carrots, peas, oranges,
Okay.
clementines, grapes.
Okay. See, when
Raisins.
you said like 5 things, I thought you meant like truly 5 things.
No,
Like,
it's,
okay,
it's like a
okay.
little more than that.
I'm
Like,
less.
I like
I'm,
Cheerios.
I'm
I'll
l-
eat Cinnamon
I'm-
Toast Crunch.
I'm less
I
curious,
eat
but also
cornflakes.
like, holy shit, 5 things, and being
It's-
able to do that
yeah.
for so long. I mean, not like how does he stand it, but like,
But really, like most days, I'm eating pasta and French fries.
mhm. Dude, that's
Or like there are times where I'm eating pizza more regularly, and there are times where I'm not eating pizza. But like, French fries and pasta, pretty consistent. What I live on.
Yeah, I remember pretty late into university. Like maybe my last semester, I discovered 2 things. One of them was that a pizza place in town delivered until 3 in the morning, and the other was that I tried buttered noodles with like an entire bag of Parmesan cheese in them, like just noodles
Yeah.
and Parmesan. It was I like literally the first thing I said after trying both of these things was, it's really good I didn't discover this 4 years ago, because I would have just, noodles are good, dude. I would have, between that and the pizza, I probably would have gained like 80 pounds. That was a it was a nice treat to end my college career with. Some late
I
night
don't
studying
remember
for
how-
finals.
Like I think the last big thing that I like added to my list of things I would eat was when I started eating like chicken nuggets, and then even turned that into eating chicken tenders.
Ooh. Now,
Like whatever.
even
whatever
that has
was,
does
sometime before college.
does the breading affect whether you'll eat it or not? The style of breading.
No.
Okay. Assuming it's not something
pretty-
like fucking weird. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't know. If it had fucking hamburger sticking out of it, maybe I wouldn't be into it. I don't- Probably not. Probably not for me.
The batter or the breading is a nice crumbled sourdough,
Yeah.
seasoned with basil.
It was, and at first it was definitely like, the more it tastes like chicken, the less into it I am. But after having eaten it for so long, I'm a little softer on that. I can deal with the. But having tried just like actual chicken or turkey or something, that doesn't. No, I don't like that. I only
Yeah.
like that super processed
Mhm.
nuggets and tenders.
I mean, that's even like, see, I find that perfectly understandable. Like, I don't know why it actually bugs me when people act like fucking any fast food, like chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, even chicken sandwich is like tastes the same as regular like homemade chicken. Because unless you're specifically trying to make the chicken taste like the fast food place, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be so different.
Man.
And I get that. There was a summer, I guess I forget how long it was, like a couple weeks or something. We went on I and some of my classmates who happen to be involved with the same group went on a mission trip to New York. That ended up being kind of shitty for other reasons, maybe in the sense that like we didn't really help people, and the people we kind of helped didn't really need it. But anyway, the food there was kind of abysmal, and the milk, we like all these people, huge group, like because a bunch of small groups from different areas would like come together, right? And we were staying in like some middle school that had opened up its doors to us like for the summer or whatever. And first off, New York milk is disgusting. Happy cows do not come from New York, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry, it's just bad. Like, it was undrinkable. I took a sip and I had to bail. So that was rough. And I think the only, like, just the general food was really lackluster. So the only meals I remember eating is, like, every night, because it was close by, our little group would take a walk to the McDonald's, and I would like, that would be like my one actual meal a day. So I would get like 40 or 60 chicken nuggets just every single time, and everybody thought I was crazy. And I'm like, well, I need to eat something. Might as well be something I know I like and can handle.
Hell yeah. As someone who like has to scope out the one place I can find to eat whenever I go anywhere. I have to figure it out.
Having like
Scouting.
having French fries as one of your staples, though, is like, I assume that would leave a lot of places open.
But it also means like I'm so picky that like my plan is I have to figure out myself, because I don't want to like make anyone else I'm with have the limited selection that I like. I feel bad about that.
Sure.
So I try to do that on my own.
I still felt bad when me and Anya met you, and I felt like I was holding you at gunpoint to order food.
Yeah, I just hadn't thought about meeting up for food. If I had thought about meeting up and then eating, I would have picked a different spot to meet up.
Okay. Yeah. And see, probably just
like
communication.
a cooler place rather than
a cooler place. Yeah. I was I was thinking breakfast. I probably just didn't. I did not communicate that at all. But like the whole way there, I'm like, man, I'm ready for some fucking pancakes. I want it or something. I'm hungry. I'm walking. I'm walking here. I'm in the city.
Yeah, if I don't, I could have had us meet at a diner.
Yeah.
Much cooler.
Do you know what kind of
it
diner?
Would have been further away from where you were.
I mean, that's whatever. Was it like how much of an actual diner is it? Like quintessential American diner? Is it something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's one of like, I have not been able to deliver this experience yet, but it's one of the things that Ani wants to do at some point in America, is like roll into one of those diners where the waitresses are all catty and call you hun, and like the food is just that diner. Like, I took her to what I thought was that experience in Point, and it wasn't good enough for her. Wasn't enough like the movies.
Most of my favorite ones are closed at this point.
I just the one I went to.
The one where I would go in and they would bring me and my dad food without talking to us.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a
if they were busy.
That's a fucking banger. I know there was a when me and Jeremy lived together. I assume it's still going in Point. There was a diner that is 24/7, and it is fucking dope. Yeah, you get a lot of. It's an interesting mix, and it's like kind of pleasant. Like, it never had a weird vibe or anything, but it's like that weird mix of people who are university students drunk off their ass and wanted waffles at 3 a.m, and the like grizzled like factory workers who are getting their coffee and eggs before heading into work or whatever. And it was like this such an interesting atmosphere. And there was one waitress for a while when me and Jeremy we like started going fairly regularly, like on weekend nights, and I don't know, it just felt good because I was like at the factory, so I had my factory jacket on, and Jeremy had his like construction jacket on, but we were still young, so we like fit in with both crowds kind of. And it got to a point where every time we'd walk in, like this waitress would like it was the same lady every time, and she would just like instantly knew we both wanted coffee, so they didn't even ask, just like poured 2 huge mugs of it. And like Jeremy changed his order up a little bit more, and I would always get corned beef hash and then whatever else I happened to want that night. But she would always just be like, I already put in your hash order, because it takes a long time. Just felt so nice, so good. That's such a good experience.
At work, when I go for lunch, I go to a Popeyes, and I've gone there so much. Like, since the pandemic, they just like give me fries. They don't even charge me.
That's amazing. That's so good.
They just give me my fries so I can get out of there.
That's a dream, dude. So what I forget. I know we discussed it once with probably on a Delphi night. What's your top tier fry? Is it McDonald's?
Five Guys.
Five Guys. Okay. I've not had the pleasure.
Cause they double cook them.
Okay.
Where they fry them once and then they let them sit and then they fry them again.
Ooh.
So they're more potatoey. And they hold up longer. They're not like McDonald's fries where like you let them sit for 2 minutes and they're turned to rocks. They're just like the magic is dispelled and the illusion is broken and they turn to ash or whatever.
Yeah.
Those fries like are one of the few, like the only fast food fries I've seen that like can be good cold the next morning or whatever.
Okay. I'd be curious to to get your take on if you ever have the opportunity to do Culver's fries or Midwest establishment.
Yeah,
because they also, I think, again off the top of my head, I had a lot of fries in my life. I don't remember most of them, but I think Culver's, they're like similar. They're okay cold. Yeah, if McDonald's fries get anything below hot, you fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, they're good when they're fresh, but
oh yeah.
But I like a thick fry also, like a steak fry. Go to a diner, get a bunch of steak fries. That's good stuff.
I also enjoy.
I mean, ultimately, it's just their vehicle for salt. Like, I like salt. Ultimately. Is the thing.
Yeah.
I've been honest with myself enough to recognize.
I will do.
It's like, I like salt. So
it's one of those. It's one of those things where I have to be eating somewhere for a while, and then I will dip my toe in for if the place has the option, a sweet potato fry. I will. I've
had too many sweet potato fries that were not cooked well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And even when I've had them that have been okay, they've never been as good as just a normal French fry.
Yeah. The tavern where I always get my same burger. Eventually, I decided to try the sweet potato fries, having extremely low expectations. Because my experience with sweet potato fries has been, they're not great, but they're okay. And they were incredibly good. They were like the best sweet potato fries I'd ever had at that point. So I just got them because I always got them there because that's like the one place where I would get them and like them.
Yeah. I mean, again, one of the best things about French fries, the floor is pretty high. And you have to like, they have to really fuck up
Yeah,
to fuck up French fries. Like if a French fry is bad, it's because the oil wasn't hot enough, and they just taste like grease,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just actually unedible. But it's pretty rare that you find at like a restaurant that would actually fuck up that bad.
My school growing up
It happens.
had, I assume, I'd be shocked if they actually made them. I assume it was ordered from somewhere, and like just heated up or whatever. Amazing curly fries, just fucking outstanding curly fries. At least in that, maybe it was like they tasted better than they should have because it was against the context of other school food, but like the once every week or every other week when they'd have curly fries, just I would literally get a tray full along with like whatever they were serving. But have not tasted that exact flavor since. And presumably, now that there's all this health bullshit going around, they probably swapped them out for celery or some garbage.
Ugh. Celery isn't healthy for you though.
There was
It's like nothing.
there was well, because I think it's true. I forget if it's a rumor or if it's true that like it takes slightly more calories to burn the celery than it does to, or yeah, like it's a
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was one dude who knew this fact in school, and he would just eat a shitload of celery. Like, because of this. Like, oh, it burns calories. And, like, he would grab he would have, like, fistfuls of it. Like, he'd have his pockets loaded with celery and just be, like, eating it all day. And I remember one time he, like, had a little piece after lunch in gym class. And the gym teacher yelled at him to, like stop eating celery. And or like throw that celery away or whatever, and he like threw it in the garbage, and he just got out another one from his pocket, and like of course the gym teacher yelled at him again, and like got to the point, eventually just told him to like get rid of all of his celery, and he just kept pulling. It was like a bottomless bag of celery. He just pulled it out of all of his pockets, like handfuls of celery. Dude was loaded.
So he was a living meme. You're telling
he
me.
was the guy in the math problems. A man walks into a school
become a living parody.
The celery did not help him burn enough calories. Sad to say.
Weird.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some sort of math out there showing that you need to eat like 18,000 tons to like burn enough calories to get thin or something. But yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. It's almost like you should probably just exercise or something.
Yeah. Or just not eat the other stuff as much as well.
Yeah, that too. If you're putting peanut butter on your celery, you're not burning calories.
I love peanut butter on celery. And you put like 3 raisins on. Bumps on a log is what we call them.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
I have a friend who just fucking like hates celery. It's like abhorrent to him. Like if he gets a whiff of the flavor of celery in his food, he won't eat it.
Oh man. I had a friend like that
It's
with
just one cursed object.
Yeah. I'm trying to I'm trying to think if there's anything I find so offensive that I won't eat it. Like if I get even a sniff of it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so offhand. The closest I got was as much as I am not a picky eater, my stomach is rather sensitive, and I'll do it. I'll eat the thing that's tasty, even if it means I have to like hole up in the bathroom for like 2 days. But it got to a point where I needed to like keep a list going of what frozen pizzas I could deal with, because obviously we have a very narrow Like, you're probably not going to find a frozen pizza that's good enough that warrants spending a whole day on the toilet. It just doesn't, that math doesn't check out. And there was one brand that my mom and dad really loved. It was like a more local one. I think local to Wisconsin even. If not our area, I don't fucking know. And they would always get it. And it got, I think like, I maybe made it 3 times just to be like scientifically rigorous. Like every single time I ate it, it would just end in a nightmare. Every fucking time. And I told my parents this, they like just laughed. Like they didn't care. They would like still occasionally buy it. And it got to the point, I remember at one point they tried to like sneak it in. They like put a different label on it or something, or like made it before I was home and threw out all the packaging. And I took one bite and I'm like, no, this is this brand. I'm not doing it. I just like straight up spit it out. Wasn't having it. That was the last time. I taught them. They learned. Everything else though,
you gotta be direct.
You gotta be firm.
It's the only way they learn.
But when it comes to spicy stuff, like if it's tasty and it's really spicy, I'll bite that bullet.
Yeah, I have no context for how my body would handle spicy food. So I just don't eat any of it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
The food I had to give up because I just noticed that every time I ate it, I would feel like shit was donuts. I'm just like, nope.
That's
I'm not gonna eat this donut.
Like, do you miss them sometimes?
I mean, they were tasty, but
Yeah.
not worth feeling like garbage.
Yeah. See, that's one of those things like I think on the surface I would be fine because I don't eat donuts that much. It's not something that comes up. But now and again, I'm in a bakery and there's just that perfect fucking Homer Simpson donut sitting in the thing. Just like the pink frosting, the perfect sprinkles, and I'm like, I need that donut. Anya, give me this, order this donut for me. And I'll like, I don't care. I'll get fucking specific. If there's like 2 pink glazed donuts or whatever, I'll tell them to grab the other one. Because it looks a tiny bit better. Gotta, I'm sitting there like, which one would Homer get? And the answer is probably both or all.
The answer is all of them.
Yeah. I do not like.
Yeah, I mean, I only ate like plain donuts.
Okay.
Like nothing elaborate, and I couldn't.
Sure.
I can't handle it.
I remember getting burned early on. I love jelly donuts. Jelly donuts are just or like with I don't actually know. It's like some sort of cream. It's not whipped cream, and it's not frosting. Some sort of cream. But one time I thought I was eating a donut like that or a jelly donut, and I got fucking burned, and it was Bavarian cream. And the flavor was fine, but I looked at the donut and it looked like just a runny nose of filling. Like it just looked like snot dripping out of this donut, and I was disgusted. Like the texture
just looked
in
like
my mouth,
Ash from Alien.
the texture in my mouth, and the vision of the goo running out of this donut, I couldn't finish it. The taste of everything else was fine, but I just you know what? It might be one of the earliest instances of running into something not cereal friendly. I don't like it.
More like dough snot.
Ugh. It was so bad. To this day, like I can't. It's so offensive. If you like if you like Bavarian cream, you might be fucked up. There might be a link between liking Bavarian cream and becoming a serial killer. There, I said it.
Like killing like Cheerios.
What do you mean?
Serial killer? Because it's not cereal friendly.
Now I'm imagining that cream all over my cereal. Ugh. Disgusting. Kind of like...
You ever watch Alien?
Yeah.
It's like Ash, like the robot. After he's
killed,
with his head's torn off.
Yeah, and he's sitting in his...
liquid everywhere.
Goo. Yeah.
Just his head sitting in your cereal bowl.
Milky substances that aren't milk
are purity.
Are cursed.
I mean, milk is pretty cursed.
Milk is pretty cursed, yeah. I've actually... It's usually not too bad. The granola really helps, but like the texture of yogurt is also not great. I can't just... I guess the saving grace is that for some reason, like 90% of the yogurt here is sold in like bottles that are perfect for just drinking from. So that's usually how if I want like a hit of yogurt, I just like take a couple gulps. But if I was like...
Man, really embracing that Go-Gurt life.
Dude, that's what I keep saying. I'm like, it's just Go-Gurt, but like a better version because you don't need to squeeze a plastic tube.
Yeah. There's cursed milk imagery in a movie I want to watch for the podcast, so I'm not going to tell you what movie it is. Just know. It's waiting in the wings.
I don't know if that's worth it. All that's worth it.
It's not that bad.
Well, says the person who could just like eat a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch while watching the most horrific shit.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. I can't think of a person less qualified to say that sentence to me.
Look, I'm just saying it could be worse. I can imagine worse things.
Why would you imagine those things, though?
Because I'm just trying to place the things I've experienced on a scale. I want the bigger picture.
You know, I just thought of it. What's your tolerance for pancakes? Like your tolerance and variance?
Realistically, I only really want to eat the pancakes my mom makes.
Okay, sure. No,
but
that's fucking understandable.
If I'm like camping, like pancakes out of like a tube, like just pre-bought mix that you like anything like just like pouring that shit and cooking it immediately, but because you're like in this other situation.
Yeah.
Like one of the best pancake meals I had was like waking up on the boat my dad and his friend owned, and it was raining and the roof was just like a sponge, like it was just leaking everywhere. And because it turned out to be like completely rotted through the wood.
Hell yeah.
So there's like dripping water everywhere and in my bed, but like then we ate these pancakes that were just like, you know, tube pancakes.
Yeah, man.
Cooked up on a propane stove. Very good. Very good.
Nice. No, dude, that's entirely understandable. Like, context for that shit is unreal.
Yeah. And like the reason I liked my mom's pancakes was she used like whole wheat flour. I think was like, if you're like literally the thing that ended up being what I liked about them, not like super white flour pancakes or whatever.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to like a diner and getting breakfast, I usually go with French toast at those places. But when you get bad French toast, that's a nightmare. Like I got bad French toast, and I could eat French toast for fucking years afterwards.
Yeah, dude, French toast
cursed.
is so. I started doing one of my things, kind of like a 2-in-1. When I was on my own in Point, I would make my eggs in the morning, and then with like there was like leftover butter and grease in the pan, and I would just like make toast in that, and it ended up being like pseudo French toast, and it actually tastes. I mean, like maybe that's even too strong of a word, but it tasted fine.
Yeah.
I tried making actual French toast. It was a disaster. Like,
Yeah.
actually rough. I ate it because I was stubborn, and I made it,
Yeah.
and Anu was making fun of me probably, but it was bad.
Yeah. But I'll say it's like, since I've like living on my own, what I will buy Eggo waffles and stock those in the freezer for a thing that I can a vehicle for maple syrup. That's an easy
hell yeah, dude. No, those are good. I was just asking. I found a pretty decent pancake recipe that I've been doing when I want the different kinds of pancakes that they have here are like slightly different. They're either very thin and just kind of used for like a sweet breakfast burrito. Like you put sugar in or jelly or syrup or whatever, and you roll it up, like meant to be eaten like that. Or they're like they use like I guess cream cheese or other like thicker substances, and they're very dense. But I found a recipe just for some nice fluffy pancakes. It was very good.
Nice.
We actually I have been getting more used to and acclimated with wheat flour, just because we use that with Anya's family. It's decent. It turns out you can substitute stuff.
White flour is just kind of garbage.
I still like white flour. Or what's your take on white bread then?
Not a fan.
Okay. If I get toast somewhere, I always do whole wheat toast, like if I'm in a diner or whatever. But just for like a sandwich or
if it's like cinnamon raisin toast, then white bread can be fine. But other than that, give me kind of.
Yeah. Wait,
I mean, I'm not gonna say anything else. There are plenty of other forms of bread I wouldn't like either. But
yeah, I think.
But back in college, like when at the cafeteria, when there would be no food I wanted, which is pretty often if there weren't French fries. Like one of my go-tos was they had a toaster that was like just it was just like a belt. So you just put the toast in and it would just like go down like a little conveyor belt and then come out. And I would just like get like 12 slices of bread. That would be my meal.
Yeah.
Like just eating 12 pieces of toast.
Dude,
I would have like a stack.
Hell yeah. There was on white bread. I think I like it kind of similar to your tube pancakes thing. Like it was just the type of bread that my grandma used to make sandwiches when I was younger. So like for a sandwich, like a homemade thing, I'll do white bread. But most of the time I'm doing wheat. I think you would have loved the cafeteria at Eau Claire, the first university I went to right out of high school. There was like there were a couple different sections, and I think one was just like it took more money out of your meal plan or whatever. But there was one area that always had like a rotating thing. It was almost like a elementary school lunch or something. Like they had a different meal every day. And there was a place next to it. The like thing next to it would just always have like very basic burgers and fries. And the fry cook was like a fucking legend. I think it was like, the burger was, a couple dollars or whatever the hell it was or something, and then the fries were like $1 or whatever, $2. If you handed that guy a 5 just out of your pocket right into his, he would give you like an unbelievable amount of fries. I mean, like, too many fries. Dude would just fuck you up, and it was amazing.
Damn. Oh, that's the greatest tragedy, having too many fries. It's like, these are so good, I just want to eat these, but I physically can't anymore.
I mean, there was a dude who, there was like apparently a little challenge that some people would do, and there was like a hard version of it. So they had trays that they would put their plates on. Basically, they used to serve food onto the trays, but had to stop because people were taking them to sled down a hill that was steep enough that people died and got paralyzed. So that stopped, but they still used them to like hold the plates and stuff. And these trays are all different colors. There's a bunch, I think there was like 5 or 6 colors or something. And there was a challenge where you had to use each color of tray, and you had to go to like the burger place and just order a burger and fries. And if they asked you if you wanted to make it a double burger and you wanted like the fries special, like the way too many fries, you had to say yes, and you had to keep doing that until you went through all the colors of trays. Yeah. The hard version was just there were 2 white trays in the cafeteria, but I don't think anybody actually did that because you would literally die going through like 50 meals. Ugh. Yeah. That was a nice. I like it when people are just, they hook it up like that. Like you said with Popeyes giving you the freebies. It's nice.
Yeah. I wish it wasn't because there's a global pandemic, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping we haven't it kind of disappoints me. Like there's maybe it's. I think for me it's partially being in a bigger city, but also just the happenstance of our location. Like it doesn't feel like there's anywhere enough for us to go like super regularly where we could get familiar with the staff like that. But we have gotten pretty friendly with the manager of the liquor store at the bottom of the building. Dude has fantastic recommendations though, as I've said.
Damn.
So hopefully one of these days he'll like give us a bottle of something or some shit, and then we'll reciprocate and a beautiful friendship will be born in which we exchange forms of alcohol.
Yeah. I'll say it's easier to give someone free food when they're coming in every day to order something that costs $2.
Yeah. But I mean, there's also something to be said if you're frequently buying things that are pricier as well, Like if you spent so much that they feel comfortable like giving you a little bit.
Yeah.
The restaurant that we always went to, Father Fats. We were like the closest thing to regulars they had, so we would roll in and like after a point they're like, okay, these guys are coming in here like fucking every single month, Jesus Christ, and they would start like hooking us up with some freebies. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Still the one and only time we got to live the dream of ordering the entire menu. That was an amazing night, especially because I asked thoroughly. I double and triple checked with everyone, and they all did not want the leftovers, so I got the leftovers. Oh, best 2 days of my life. super expensive food just sitting in my fridge. Oh my god.
Man, having food in your fridge. What a concept.
Yeah, I know. I'm really ready for the, like, that's been maybe, well, I don't know for the whole time, but like right now that's like the current annoyance, or the current biggest annoyance with the pandemic is we're used to just getting our groceries like on a daily or every other day basis to just get what we're eating, and now we have to like try to plan out a week in advance or whatever, and it's just never works. Or
I can see that.
actually the big thing, maybe I think I find it more of a problem than Anya does. You can't order like numbers of something. Like I can't say give me 8 pears and 6 bananas. They have to be like, do you want a kilogram of pears? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take a kilogram of pears. And then they just send 2 big fucking pears. That literally happened. Like, just the biggest, like, pears the size, bigger than my fist. I think I'm looking at my fist, literally bigger than my fist. And they just gave me 2 of them. I'm like, well.
You need a kilogram of baby pears.
I hate that this is actually what I ordered. They got me. They fucking got me. Or same thing with bananas. Like, we ordered a kilogram of bananas and we got like 3 bananas. I'm like, well, I wanted to have one for breakfast every day with my yogurt, but that's fine.
You just gotta order 2 kilograms of bananas.
Ugh.
They just keep sending you increasingly larger bananas, and somehow you're getting less bananas every time.
No, they get me used to it. They get me used to it. And then one day they just fuck me by sending me like 800 mini bananas. That and meat. The meat
bananas are more skin than banana.
The meat has been disappointing because like the store that we go to has like, you know, a meat section with like fresh meat, and instead we have to order like packaged stuff. That's and I think you'll appreciate how truly offensive this is, but obviously if the store doesn't have something, they'll subtract it from your order and like refund you the money or whatever. Occasionally, I think it's only happened like once where I forget what it was. They like forgot to subtract or something. We got like a little bonus or some shit. But occasionally, and I don't know if there's a way to opt out of this, they will take it upon themselves to just substitute your order with the closest thing. So in some cases this is okay. Like if they don't have this brand of milk, they'll send you the same size of a different brand. Or like if they don't have like the 8-ounce cup of sour cream, they'll send you the 10-ounce or the 6-ounce, and they just like adjust the price. I think it's like if it's smaller they adjust the price, and if it's bigger they'll leave it as is. But
man,
what they did that I really disliked is they started doing it with pasta, which, you know, if I order like this style of noodles, maybe don't send me a box of spaghetti noodles. It's just not what I'm planning for. Ugh. Or they sent me the other day, we ordered yogurt. They didn't have like flavored yogurt, so they just sent plain yogurt. Disgusting. Just heinous.
As someone who makes subs at work, because I work for a large company where they care more about your stats than other things, I've done some questionable subs.
Anything you can talk about?
But it's just because, like, the way the system is constructed, I'm incentivized to.
Yeah. Gotta do what you can, man. It's a rat race out there.
Hey, man. You're just trying to do the thing that will have your manager talk to you less.
Oh, yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
What can I do that I just don't have to talk to people ever?
Dude, every single time I hate the feeling that I have right now where every single time my phone starts blinking, I'm dreading that it's a notification from work. Or I got it I see that I have a new email. Before I check it, I'm always like, please God, don't let it be a manager from work. Because it's just, even if it's nothing like important, it's still just that anxiety. Ugh.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Or I still partially because I still don't actually know where I stand with my company. It seems like everyone else who was brought on, like the native speaking teachers, has a different contract than me. Like, I think they're like their hours are more set or something. I don't know. But for me, they were like, yeah, you can just say no to stuff. Like, if there's a class you don't want to take, like, it's totally open, whatever. And it's fine. But I mentioned in Discord the other day, every single, like, I say yes to most things that come my way. Like, people need a substitute. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I can do that. Need another substitute. I'm like, yeah, sure, hit me. There's like a new student. I said yes. So I try to at least like say yes to more things than no. But sometimes they're like, oh, we're looking, a student wants to do lessons at like 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. I'm like, yeah, no. I am not available at that time. But I still feel like if I say no, this is going to be the one where they're like, you just don't mesh well with the company and we need to let you go. Which normally I wouldn't give a shit about, but if I have to leave the company, I also have to leave Russia currently, which is obviously not great.
Problematic. Not ideal.
Yeah. And the worst part, actually, this is my biggest overall annoyance with COVID. Like, I think the big thing, even worse than my trip to America getting canceled, is we were going to start the temporary residency stuff. And you need, like, what was it? I had to get fingerprints. I had to go to my local police station and get fingerprints, and then I had to take those fingerprints and I had to send them to the FBI to get like a federal background check, and then take those documents, get them to Russia, and then take them in and do all this other stuff like on my side of the planet. And I got the fingerprints the last time I was home and got some copies of them or whatever. Sent them into the FBI. Or had my mom send them in, because at that point I was already back here. And she got the documents. And about the time that she was, like, the documents were being sent back to her is when all this pandemic shit started. And by the time we got the documents, that's when, like, everything was closed. So we now have to do this whole thing over again and hope that it works out. But God, I want to do it so badly, because it would remove so much stress from my life, knowing that, like, oh, if I, like, if for some reason my company no longer wants me to work for them, or I decide I no longer want to work for them, like, it's just that extra security. Because right now it's like a constant underlying stress. I think, honestly, my big thing that I've learned for teaching is I would love to be in a position where I can just follow someone else's lesson plan. I don't like having to come up with stuff on my own. I'm a follower in that sense.
You could buy a book, like a textbook.
We use those, but we are part of the thing that my particular company is really big on is not using the book as like using the book and like using that as like a baseline, but then bringing in a ton of extra stuff and like not just sticking to it, which I don't know. For me, it's a hard balance to find because like, oh, we need to do a progress test that follows the book. So like the first 40 hours of a class or whatever. But at the same time, we're not supposed to use the book as much. Like, it's, I don't know. I don't like having to balance that stuff. In some groups, it's fine. Because, like, obviously, if a group just wants to do 100% of the book stuff, then you can just do that. But it's when you get to that weird area of, we want the book, but we don't want it. So then I have to find ways to disguise the book as something else and present it that way. But yeah.
This book is wearing a mustache. It's a completely different book.
Yeah, I put glasses on the book. A book? This is a Nook. Totally different. But yeah.
A Nook is a e-reader thing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Barnes & Noble version, I believe.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah. Anyway, do you got anything else to talk about?
No, all I do is go to work, play Magic and WoW, and sleep.
Hell
That's
yeah,
all
dude.
my life is. Also eating sometimes, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I've had to,
so tired.
I've had to take.
I'm so burned out.
Oh yeah, dude. I feel you. I mean, I think you're probably, you're more burned out than I am, maybe, but I understand.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about ways since I assume my Steam controller still works. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to mention. I've had a rough day for a rough couple of days for dexterity. Spilled a glass of water, like a full restaurant cup-sized glass of water, all over my desk. The next day, I was trying to eat some really simple but still surprisingly good sushi from the store, and it has a soy sauce packet. And it wasn't opening, and I gave it a bit too much juice, and it fucking exploded all over everything else on my desk that the water missed. And then during Dolphy night, I dropped a full beer onto the floor, and it fucking exploded everywhere. And it's like 1 a.m. and Anya and her sister were like asleep. So I just explodes. And I went back and checked the VOD, and it's loud as hell. Like, it's just dead silence, and then so yeah, it's been rough in that regard. But I've also needed I want to start maybe seeing if I can use my Steam controller just for like casual WoW stuff, and even maybe like arena. I think I played like too much WoW for at least in too long of sittings, and I wasn't like stretching my wrist enough because it fucking hurts now. Like at certain angles, like I think my grip is still fine, but
look, man, you just gotta learn how to play WoW with those nubs in the middle of laptop keyboards.
Oh, the clit?
Yeah, I've done competitive arena WoW with one of those.
Hell yeah.
Also, I would regularly play WoW with like a touchpad on a laptop for a long time.
That's blessed.
I got very good at it.
Man, one of my Dutch friends, when I was playing a lot of Rocket League, and he got into it, and he would do okay, but he was never super great. And one day we found out he was using a laptop, like just straight up a touchpad and keyboard, which is a regular keyboard and mouse is terrible for that game. And we were just like, okay, like you're actually a god if this is your performance on this.
Yeah,
just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. As someone who's would always like play video games with the garbage third-party controllers my friends had as their extra ones. um, the whole idea of like having the best equipment was always like, yeah, but like just get good at the thing, whatever you have. Also, I don't know. If you use a thing enough, you'll get used to it probably.
Yeah.
Unless it just doesn't, like, your brain, it just breaks your brain or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
I'm just fighting game fans just seem like incredibly terrible to me for how fucking precious they are about the controllers they use. I hate it. Like, I just have no respect.
I mean,
if you need like the exact tool to do the thing, or you're like, yeah, this is no good. I don't know.
yeah. You know, if you're playing Melee and you're not using the third generation white platinum Japan only controller that they released only in the first 8 months of 2005, then you're gonna lose, fucker.
The Smash Brothers one is the most ridiculous because the idea that like the GameCube controller is actually good for anything is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, you gotta. The colors all perform differently, is the thing.
I don't hate the GameCube controller, but it's like the idea that that's like the only way to play this game is hilarious. It's to the point where they still sell GameCube controllers in stores.
Yeah.
It's hilarious how fervent that passion has been.
I like using a GameCube controller, like for the nostalgia mostly. But I don't get people have said like Joy-Cons are terrible to use. They feel absolutely fine for playing Smash. Like the only argument that I could understand is like whatever pro was reviewing them, like when Smash first came out, and he said that in his opinion, like the joysticks, like the controller itself, if people are going fucking hard in tournaments like day after day or year after year or whatever, they're not going to hold up as well. I could see that.
Yeah.
But like from a performance standpoint, like inputs and shit, it's absolutely fine. People are just stupid.
I mean, use a nunchuck and a Wiimote. That's fine.
Use tilt controls.
I'm using tilt controls.
Greatest.
I mean, playing Smash Brothers on a 3DS, not ideal.
Ooh. Yeah.
There's certain things where like playing this game makes my hand hurt. That's no good.
Yeah.
Like fighting games on handheld consoles generally can only do so much of that before things start hurting. Although no game has ever made my hand hurt as much as Thumper for whatever reason, and that was just normal controller. But somehow that game like put the stress of it or something, like my hands like hurt when I played that game.
Oh yeah, they'd like you're like just I know what you mean.
I was like squeezing too hard or something. Like I don't, no game has come anywhere near close to doing that to me.
Trying to think of
wild.
I've definitely had games like that where I'm like holding my hands or myself in a weird way. I can't think of for hands what it would be. I know with Skyrim my weird thing was that for some reason I always sat like with perfect posture when I played that game. Like I'd be cross-legged on my chair, like back perfectly straight, like playing it, and I don't know why. And for No Man's Sky, it's a thing that I've done like since I would like literally when I was a toddler and shit, because I have big teeth and a small mouth, so my mouth hangs open. And I would just, I don't know why, but for No Man's Sky, I would catch myself just constantly being like slack-jawed playing this, playing No Man's Sky. No clue why that and not other games, but yeah. I'm sure there's something like with my hands that I played, but I don't know what.
Man. I don't know. The ones that like, I don't know how it became this way, but now I look at it and I'm like, how is that how I use that? Is how I hold a mouse when I'm playing it, like a shooter or something, or a competitive game. Like, I claw grip it and it's like turned to the side. I'm just like, how is...
Weird.
That's how it performs best for me, but this looks weird.
Actually, hilariously, that feels so much better on my wrist. I might have to, might have to adopt that. I'm using it right now, and I'm like, huh, my wrist isn't screaming in agony. That's neat. Imagine.
Claw grip, man.
Claw grip. Actually, what I wanted was I did consider briefly, but it was a little out of my price range. Getting one of those mice that's just fucking enormous, and you could like put weights in them, because that just seems real nice.
Yeah. Although speaking of like the wrong tool for the job, I tried to play Siege with controller once, and I can't imagine playing that game that way. Just because you turn so slowly.
Well,
like, now I know why you're scared of everything, because you can't fucking look around.
are you suggesting that I play Siege with a controller?
Yes.
Wish you could be as good as me on a controller. Dude, I still... When Overwatch first came out, and everybody bought it just because it's Blizzard doing a shooter, and we played it with Jeremy, and he was using a controller. He was like complaining.
If you're not playing a character who shoots, it could be okay.
He was playing characters that shoot.
Yeah,
but like,
no good.
He was wondering like why people were like able to like get him so quickly. I'm like, dude, it's because they like twitch their mouse and turn 180 degrees, and you're like trying to figure out where they were 8 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I don't think Overwatch ever implemented this, but I know on console, like, they literally had 2 different versions of that game because they had to balance it differently on console because everybody's using controller. Now I think Battlefield does it. And I think Halo Master Chief Collection does it, where if you're using a controller on PC, you get put against other consoles or people using a controller.
Yeah,
something like that.
I mean, theoretically, Call of Duty does that too.
Right.
I've seen it pair mixing.
Yeah, it's
more
not
often than I've seen it.
It's not perfect.
Explicit.
I don't know if it's still true, but the hot strat in Master Chief Collection was actually, at least in Reach, was to use a controller because the aim assist was so good that it it was better than a mouse and keyboard. Like,
that's hilarious.
I think it was a weird like area though. Like, if you were absurdly good, mouse is still better. But if you're like not quite good enough, then you're better off with the assistance. If you're trash.
Yeah, and like if you play enough of it with controller that you get good at it.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there's like an element of that too. Probably.
If you just never stopped playing it on console.
Yeah. No, but like the true strats are to hook up a keyboard and mouse to your console.
Dude,
if it supports it.
I remember that was a thing back in the day before it was like super common. You could like, it was like $200 for something that was compatible with like 360 or whatever. That would work in games, I should say.
Like, if you want to like cheese the system, that seems like the strat.
You want to dunk on kids.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like a podcast, probably.
Probably. I looked up the playtimes on my WoW characters.
Okay.
And I learned that I've spent more time playing my WoW Classic Priest since Classic came out than I played all of Legion with my max level Demon Hunter.
Nice.
Like, I only leveled like 10 levels with that character because they start at like 110 or whatever.
Yeah,
or 100.
I think
like
Demon Hunter is like 98. Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, it starts at 98. Right. does.
That's
it
what
starts a
Paul
couple
was saying.
earlier. Yeah. So getting that to max level and then kind of burning out at max level was like 3 days of playtime. I've played my classic priest for like 5 days and I'm level 37. But my most time on my WoW character is my Death Knight. I have 85 days playtime.
That's spicy.
Yeah, that's the character I did raids on and stuff.
I'm curious. I need to check. I think my playtime on my character is still like 4 days or 5 days now, maybe.
Yeah.
Or almost 5 days. I'm curious to see if I already have more time in WoW than I do in Tarkov. Because I might have passed it already. I don't know.
Just think, if you spent all that time on Classic, you might have caught up to me.
Yeah, but would I be happy? I'll
I don't know.
start my Classic eventually. Just to try.
I've been playing a Horde character with a friend, though.
I mean, I could do Horde.
Just because he prefers Horde.
Disgusting.
And I kind of don't care.
Fuck Horde.
Nah, man. I mean, I was all about Horde until they ruined the story.
Yeah.
Until the mana bomb.
Yeah.
Until they had the Horde committed atrocity. And also just they keep doing the same stories again, but less good. Because the mana bomb is kind of just a story from Wrath of the Lich King again, except worse.
Well, I mean,
Because then it wasn't like it was like a faction of undead going of the Forsaken turning bad, which made more sense than like the orcs are all evil in context.
I mean, apparently, according to what I've seen on Reddit, like Shadowlands expansion, people were worried because of the stuff that Blizzard had teased ages ago, and they were like, "Are they gonna make Sylvanas like Garrosh 2.0, like do the same exact story where like he goes crazy and start doing shit?" And they were like, no, we promise, we're blah blah blah, like, all this stuff, and eventually won people's trust over, and then like the beta came out for Shadowlands, and it's like, Garrosh 2.0, here you go, you wanted it, and we delivered.
I mean, that's the only story they know how to tell.
Yeah.
Is this character goes crazy and goes evil. Because that's like the Arthas story.
Yeah.
They're just doing that. That's what the Illidan story is. It's like what all their character stories boil down to. It's what they did with... It's like Jaina, raid boss one day, probably.
They already kind of did that with Jaina, though, right?
Did they? I don't even know.
I mean, not fully.
Other than
sort
making
of.
her go crazy, I don't know. I don't think they made her a raid boss.
No, not a raid
You
boss.
haven't murdered her yet.
They
That's what I'm saying.
They didn't make her a raid boss. They just, she got pissed there for a while. She's fine now.
Yes.
Cooled off a little. Cooled off. I'm funny as hell.
I mean, I really hated the evil Jaina stuff. Particularly early on. It was so fucking bad.
Yeah. See, I'm getting the nice version where I just watch the video. Experiencing things for yourself, that's lame.
I mean, the other part that was annoying was like when Garrosh and Varian were introduced, they were like on the same level of being bloodthirsty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just made Garrosh into the worst, like a war criminal monster, and they gave Varian the heroic redemption to heroic death arc.
Yeah. They did we are going to
guys
really triple down on the good versus evil thing here, and then kind of go back on it, and then go back to it.
Yeah, because they never want to commit to the Horde are evil.
Yeah,
it's always like, all the characters in the Horde are evil, but you guys who play the Horde, you're fine. You're good. It's just stupid. Like, if they wanted it actually to be Horde versus Alliance, they should just do Horde versus Alliance. This their fucking around is terrible. It's bad.
Well,
I don't know. It has that feeling of like bad Magic the Gathering novels kind of stuff of just like, yeah, we got some fantasy novel writer to write our story, and they doubled down on all these dumb cliches.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it should be
didn't
that
have
hard
respect
to,
for the
to find a
history of these
ground of
characters.
like doing the right thing in our eyes sort of deal. Like,
Yeah.
from from a certain point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Like, I just want consistency of character, and they're interested is like, this character, now they've been pushed too far and they're evil.
Yeah.
It's like you've done that 10 times. Come on. I'm also mad they like as soon as they turned around the Horde and gave them like a war chief that wasn't evil, they immediately killed him. Like Vol'jin was like war chief for like 10 seconds, it feels like, before they replaced him with Sylvanas, which seemed like a bad idea at the time, and then yep, it was definitely a bad idea. Why did this happen? Doesn't make sense for her to be war chief. Anyway.
You know who
It really doesn't make sense when she's fucking crazy everywhere.
You know who I hope really doesn't
Although it makes more sense for her to be crazy than just not doing anything, which is what they were doing with her for a long time.
Yeah.
She just exists. She just existed, and they didn't do any story with her. Like they had the Forsaken do evil things, but she wasn't involved. She was doing nothing.
I really, really hope, not Warcraft, but you mentioned with Magic. I really hope they never give Ajani the suddenly crazy twist or whatever. That would be like, out of everything, that'd be like the most disappointing. He's just so damn pure. Like, you look at all the shit he's done, and it's so good. He's just a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he like punched Nicol Bolas or whatever. I just punched him in the face.
Hell yeah. Magic hasn't done the like this character turned evil
Yeah,
thing.
not
They
really.
did like Garruk is like
They've done
the one.
yeah, Garruk is like the closest thing. Other than that, it seems like they've been trying to bring more of the like bad-ish people into gray places, or bring them over.
Yeah.
I don't actually know where Vraska.
I mean,
ended up because they've
had better. Yeah. I don't. There's a lot of the Magic story I just don't know, but like,
yeah,
they had just had these big bads. Is when I'm the most interested is like Nicol Bolas or the Phyrexians to deal with.
Yeah.
And then you get those sets that are about being oppressive, and they're all about -1/-1 counters. Like Amonkhet. That shit's dope. I like that game feel of like, this is the set where shit's oppressive, so there are no +1/+1 counters. There are only -1/-1 counters.
Yeah.
That's dope design, which is, I think, like Scars of Mirrodin stuff was when they figured that out.
Mm-hmm.
With the Phyrexians taking over Mirrodin.
I noticed that. That reminds me. I need to submit try to submit. Yeah, I was trying to submit a bug report the other night, and it wasn't connecting me to the site properly. I might have to see like if I use a VPN. So I did post that screenshot at MTG where I had my champion of Lamb holdout, and it was phased out, but it still put the no blocking icon over the creatures. So I thought I could get through, and it, of course, they blocked me. But
yeah.
I assume it's something to do with how they have phasing set up, where it's like the creature technically isn't gone, so that icon stayed there. But yeah, I mean, after I knew that was a thing, it's easy enough to play around, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The worst bug I remember seeing was when fucking the pro red creature was not getting pro red benefits. That was driving me fucking crazy.
Shit, I forget which. Maybe you'll remember. The worst bug to me was when you couldn't play with those lands. I forget which lands they were, but you couldn't play with them. It just wouldn't let you.
I think it was the Mirage lands.
Right, yeah. It was the Mirage lands. Yes. It just wouldn't let you put them. Yeah, that was, and they were so good, and you couldn't do it.
That bug was hilarious.
It was
I hate
terrible.
that my decks have stopped auto putting the Godzilla lands in my decks.
Yeah, I got shoved with the. I noticed my deck got shoved with the arena lands.
Yeah. With the new set, those are the defaults now,
Garbage.
or whatever.
I mean, they
You should
look
be
fine.
able to set your preference.
Dude, it's so, you would think it's such an easy thing. Oh, well.
They have a lot of shit on their plate.
Yeah. But a lot of money, too. A lot of money.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, I can only imagine how many people like me there are where it's like, if I spent money on Magic, it was going to be, like, the secondary market. And now all of that is going directly to Wizards.
Man.
Not Wizards of the Coast, mind you, just actual wizards. Real life spell casting wizards.
Yeah, Magic players.
Ugh.
Planeswalkers.
Jeez. Oh, yeah, there it is. God. Fuck. Maybe I'll be that guy the next time we play Commander. What's up, Planeswalkers? My ally in this battle of Magic will be the worst villain that Magic has ever seen in its history. Yeah, that's right. I'm the bad guy.
If you do that, I'm playing my Planeswalking deck.
Ugh.
It's all about land destruction.
If you play your Planeswalking deck, I'm playing my Banding Horsemanship deck.
That's fine. I'll turn all your lands into creatures and then destroy all creatures. And laugh.
But they'll have banding.
Not when they're dead.
Oh. Banding goes beyond the grave, Hank.
Look, do you even know how banding works? Because I actually do.
I did at one point.
Yeah.
I think it's people. It's not that bad. Like it's
not that bad. It works differently when you're attacking and when you're
Yeah.
blocking. It's like two different
Yeah,
abilities.
you're remembering two things and it's fine. My big thing. Like
It's just funny that you look at it's a banding card say banding and there's no reminder text at that point in the
That's
game.
rough,
It's
yeah.
You just have to know.
I mean, I've said it before. I still hate that Bestow was too complex, but then they made Mutate as a mechanic, and I understand that
I
they
find
didn't
it
want to have
amazing
both
that-
at once or
that
whatever.
we have phasing in standard again.
Yeah,
I know it's one card.
yeah. I do
It's
think
hilarious.
Bestow, like, I understand how new players or people who were used to auras or whatever, like, that was a little weird for them to get their head around. I think, for me, Mutate in paper would be a fucking nightmare. Like, I love that I don't have to think about it much in Arena. It just, like, shows me what
Yeah.
happens if I choose whichever option. If I didn't have that, it would be awful. And I love that mechanic. I think it's super fun. But I would it
Yeah.
would be a mess. I would constantly do the thing wrong, and they'd be like, no, actually, it's this because you put it under. Like, fuck's sake. Well, can I take it back? No.
So you get for playing Magic against people in real life.
Yeah.
The worst.
Anyway, we just cracked the 2-hour mark.
Okay.
I think we need to wrap up mostly because I don't think my mic's picking up, but my tummy's rumbling a little bit. I had my coffee, but not my breakfast.
This is still the shortest pillar of salt yet.
Hell yeah. Double length. Double the length, half the content.
Email real quick. Hell yeah. Emails, saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. There are emails there. Yeah, we don't have any emails. All right. The fuck out of here.
Hell yeah.